guys, my name's Karina. I'm a 23-year-old queer circus performer from Melbourne, Australia. I briefly met some of you guys at the webinar earlier this week. I am so excited for this project. I think that it's such a cool concept and idea, and I really hope that I get the opportunity to collaborate and share with you guys and be a part of this in some way, shape, or form. My little bit about me, I absolutely love circus. I'm obviously a circus performer. It's that old adage of doing what you love and you work all the time. But yeah, I adore it. I spend all of my free time researching and picking people's brains and trying to learn everything I can with not only just circus, but everything. I love going to see shows. I love seeing stand-up comedy, live performance art, dance, theatre. I believe that there's so much amazing work in like multidisciplinary cross-genre pieces, and that's where I really want to create. I want to be in that environment. And finally, I absolutely love and play a lot of cards. So anytime I have that I'm not focusing on circus or creating or art in general, is spent just sitting there with a pack of cards playing solitaire or playing cards with my friends. Just after recording this, I'm probably going to do just that. Other than that, I started a circus company at the start of 2020. So we're called Statera Circus, and we're a majority female collective where we perform circus interdisciplinary works with a really strong focus on community collaboration. And so that's the main reason that I want to be a part of the Let's Take Over project, is I really want to take these skills that I've learned from the Let's Take Over project and bring them into my role as the producer for Statera Circus, to find ways and opportunities to support not only us, but also other people in the process of creating work. We have this amazing opportunity with the City of Stonington, which we're doing directly after the Let's Take Over project finishes, where we will run a 6-week creative development for our new show, in conjunction with weekly workshops with at-risk youth in the area. So we're working with 14 to 18-year-olds, and we're going to create these 3-hour workshops where we teach them how to create a show and how to use circus and theatre techniques and ideas and concepts and play to have conversations around mental health and discussions around inclusion and isolation and all of that fun nitty-gritty and finding ways to make that accessible and engaging and insightful for the general public and for them themselves, and go through that process with them and just create a really safe space. So I really, really believe that a lot of the skills that you will teach and help us develop through the Let's Take Over project will be able to directly translate from that into this project that I'm doing with the City of Stonington, which would just be so exciting and such a great step forward in the right direction with Statera and with me, myself, as an artist and as a human. A couple of events that have really inspired me were the Berlin Circus Festival, which is this beautiful artist-focused festival in summer in Berlin. And they do a lot of work in progress showings and new presentations of new works. So it really is a place for new performances and new things to get a leg up and to be seen for the first time. And I just thought that was such a wonderful, supportive environment. And I loved how they combined community engagement with this festival, and a lot of the work in progress showings would have like a Q&A tacked on to the end of it, and there was lots of workshops, and every year two groups would be able to be part of the festival as a residency, and so they would show their works as they were developing, and it's just such an engaging process to see how people tackle the task of creating, because every creation is different and every person tackles it in a different way, and I think that that is such a awesome performance within itself of how people do that, and I really want to share that in my work too. The other festival or event that really inspired me was a project that I was able to be a part of in Spain. This was using the organization Erasmus, which is a youth organization in Europe that is focused on building connections and collaborations between people from different countries. So we were a group of 10 different people from all over Europe. I was the only one from Australia and the only one that spoke English, so or only English. So there was lots of talking with our hands and using circus as a language in of itself rather than talking verbally. And I thought that that was such an interesting process to be a part of. In this project, we were out in the middle of nowhere for 10 days, and we were just skill swapping and sharing and collaborating and trying to bring each other together and teach each other the different cultures. I got people to try Vegemite, and the Italians made gnocchi for everyone, and we just sat around the fire and talked about circus and life, and oh, it was such an awesome experience to be a part of, and I still feel very lucky to have been allowed that opportunity. And at the end of that project, we did a small performance in this tiny, tiny little country town in Spain. And it started off with a parade. So the community walked along with us and then ended up at this outdoor performance showing. And a lot of the skills and things that were presented and the acts that we created were things that people had never even presented before. So some of the skills that we learnt throughout the week from each other were able to inspire the work that was created and presented, and people were vulnerable and excited, and oh, it was such a cool opportunity, and I would love to be able to create a space like that in Australia and be able to be producing these events that can inspire other people to create and create opportunities. Yeah. So we're now at this point where I'm going to tell you about my event idea. And like probably 90% of the people who are applying, I've been inspired by coronavirus, because that is the reality that we are living in. And I'm really interested in finding ways of making live performance art doable and accessible in this time where there's so many regulations and restrictions, and it's so difficult to have people meeting in one place. So my idea is to find a promenade style performance and make that safe. So I want to do an event called COVID Corridor, and it's a passageway through time, reflecting on the events and the absurdity and the ridiculousness of the world that we're living in currently, and just take that and find the funny, find the ridiculous, the fun, the absurd, and point at it and poke at it, and in this emotional environment. And do that by having a physical corridor from one event to another. And so people will have the opportunity to choose whether or not they want to walk through the COVID corridor or walk through the normal corridor to go from point A to point B. In the COVID corridor, you enter through the mask, and now you are a droplet, and your goal is to get from the mask to the mouth. And in this journey, you have all sorts of different events that are happening, and circus and sound and lighting, and it's a fully immersive, interactive performance. So before you enter COVID Corridor, you'll be asked to either download an app or open a website. And when you open this website, if you get more than 1.5 meters or closer than 1.5 meters to someone else, your phone will buzz. And on your phone, there'll also be little instructions. So like, oh, look over at the pink square. And in the pink square, something's happening. Oh, press this button. And when you press the button, the person who is balancing on this thin sheet of perspex, which is the unique apparatus that me and my friends in Statera have been creating over the last year and a half. I'll add a little video at the end of this so you can see what that is. But when they're balancing on that and you press the button, suddenly a roll of toilet paper just falls. And the person who's balancing on the perspex has to balance while this toilet paper is falling on them. And just like little absurd moments, and making that sort of thing really immersive and interactive, and a kind of choose your own journey. So you get to make the decision as an audience member of if you want to walk straight through this corridor, or if you want to hang around and see how it evolves and see what little nuances and motifs we can find from the absurd world that we're living in. I'm also really, really interested in finding ways of making this event work online. I think that it would be definitely doable. We'd just have to find a way to film it specifically, and really, really interested in how we can make it interactive. So maybe there's a way of performing it live and people get to interact that way. I'm not sure. But I do have an alternative version that I think, or an alternative event that I think will work for the symposium, and this one will definitely work online. I've been running a program with Gasworks Arts Park, or I'm about to start running a program called Statera Sessions, which is a monthly work in progress showing for artists, where you get to present new works and receive feedback in a structured and moderated Q&A type session. So we're using the Das Arts method, which is a feedback giving structure developed in the Netherlands. And we've modified it so that it's a bit more concise and doesn't take so long. And artists walk away with a chunk of notes and the ability to just knuckle down and be inspired to continue to create. We did the first trial one for this online version yesterday, and I just felt so loved and so excited to continue developing and creating the work that we're creating. And it's such a cool thing to be able to share this process with other people. So we're running the first one, the first official Statera session online on September 7th, and I'm going to include a link to that in the application, and you can come along and register to come along and see what this is and what we're creating, and the environment and the community of people that we're hoping to build through this. And I really think that we could do this in the symposium as well. So it works both online or in person. And it's just a beautiful process that I would love to share with as many people as possible. So yeah, this is my application. I hope you guys like it. I'm really, really keen to be a part of this process and the project, and collaborate with you and just be a part of the thing. So yeah, I look forward to continuing this conversation. Thank you for your time. Bye.